request Baldeo Purushartha, Joint Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, History of Finance, Government of India, to speak.
Thank you. I think the question what we have done, what is our experience, I think this always reminds me a couplet from Harivansh Rai Bachchan, क्या भूलूं क्या याद करूं. You know, in our service we work in such a diverse situation and practically touching upon every field of governance, and that we contribute little bit everywhere. So it's difficult to identify some of the sectors where which I can pick up to explain here. But 2-3 things which are near to my heart. I was Director General School Education and I was MD NRHM also. So health and education, and I was Director Governance Reform, which was actually bringing IT into governance reforms and governance initiatives. So some of the things which I did that time, and that gave me a very high level of satisfaction. One was bringing e-classes to our public schools. Generally we understand, one of the dictum of Marx is still very relevant today. Justice in a class society is a class justice. And we see that there is a sea change of, standards of private school vis-a-vis government school. Sometimes teachers are not qualified, sometimes teachers are not getting there is not enough support system. So we try to introduce computer in every school, enough number of computers, computer lab, and not only that, but also to give curated class material so that student can go use the computer in a computer lab, learn about the computer, but as well as use the computer as a learning tool for other courses also. So that was one thing which has given tremendous result. And we have seen that that the mind of a child is very, very adaptive in getting the concepts. So they learn computer even without teacher being teaching there, although there was teacher also. So their skills have gone up. Their understanding of other subjects, because when they use computer graphics and videos and PPTs and other things, that has also gone up. And the challenge in doing that, many times government challenges in execution in government is altogether different than challenges of execution in private sector. And the challenge was that there were many people who were saying that, if you are giving computers to cut down the cost, let the operating system be Linux. And I was of the opinion that why to give this class justice to our children? Private schools are teaching computer and computer learning tools in Microsoft environment. And that is the environment even we are using in our offices. But when it comes to teaching our students who are primarily from humble and middle class background, just to cut few crore of rupees, there was a voice that we should give them Linux. And it was a long drawn process. Ultimately, my decision prevailed. I gave them computer in a Microsoft environment, but it was very difficult task. Similarly, in health, one of the problem was that doctors and paramedics were not attending hospitals, in time. So there's a lot of problem. People were not coming in time, they were coming late, going early, all kind of things. So we introduced in that time Punjab, I was in Punjab, we introduced biometric attendance system. And biometric attendance system bring a lot of discipline in employees coming to hospitals and being there for the proper time. But at the same time, challenges was that many of them started destroying those biometric devices. Sometimes people were using blades to make scratches on the glass. Many times they put acid on the glass, so that biometrics becomes dysfunctional. They can very well say that, look, I am going there, but it is not taking my attendance. So to check that, then we decided to put, cameras, that at all biometric booth, there would be a web camera capturing who is doing what. So that control a lot of these, wrong things on the part of employees. But this biometric brought a lot of discipline in the, you know, health sector attendance problem. So there are many such initiatives we, engage all the time in doing it, and there is no permanent solution. You put one solution in field, then technology changes, problem changes, you have to put some new system in place. You have to all the time keep thinking how to bring innovation in all these things. So there's many initiatives we all have done, and the benefit is that today probably, many times we think that India is far behind than other countries in deployment of IT or deployment of technology. It's not the case. We are in fact one of the forerunner. We are the pioneer in many fields. And probably you might have heard Mr. Jaishankar's remark also when he visited US, and that has been, felt by me also, because that time also I also visited US. So when he visited US, he and his son went to a restaurant, and the restaurant people asked for their COVID certification. So Mr. Jaishankar produces in his phone, and his son was having, because he was in the US, he was having a paper certification. That time I was also in Harvard doing a course. Same thing, I saw that Americans, they are carrying their paper certification, and we Indians are carrying COVID certification in digital form in our phone. So we have done quite well, but there are still miles to go. And technology is as such, that's a very dynamic process. It never ends. There is no end to technology, that this is the end of technology. It always keeps reinventing and developing itself. So we have to be on our toes and find out the newer ways, because the coming world, you see, one of the problem of technology is that it is also a tool of exploitation. So whoever controls the technology, whoever controls the technological development, he is in a position that he many time in a position to exploit other countries. And we, our Indian experience is that we have been exploited by, developed country in terms of technology in many areas. For example, if you see the history of our nuclear development, we have been blackmailed and exploited by developed country. And when we developed our indigenous technology, then we are today a nuclear power nation. So there are so many things. I think a lot of things will be discussed during this interaction session.